Hello, I'm Dr. John Master Giovanni, and welcome to this special edition of Seeds from the Tree of Life. You know, we've been talking for several episodes of how humanity in the man and the woman stands before the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and that the serpent began to speak to them, telling them basically that they were not like God enough, even though they were already the image and likeness of God. They already had their divine identity. And he lured them into believing that God knew that if they ate of this tree, this special tree called the knowledge of good and evil, then they'd be like God. So based on their desire to continue to be the image and likeness, they partook, and the fall happened. And the fall was thinking that I'm really not like God enough. I need this knowledge of good and evil stuff, this right and wrong stuff, in order for me to become more like God. Well, being that we've been talking about this, I just want to give you an in-your-face example using some critical thinking of how that religious moralism winds up showing up, really born of the serpent's voice, and how we miss the life of Christ in the face of it. Recently, I got an email as well as saw some other presentations that Disney, through Disney Plus, is going to have a show that's come out of Germany about an 18-year-old girl that has had a one-night stand and been impregnated by the devil. Well, you may think, oh, gee, that's pretty bad. Okay, but I want you to think about this critically for a moment from a divine life, Christ-centered point of view. Now, whether we want to argue a teenage girl at 18 getting impregnated by the devil or not is a good idea, that's one issue. But the other issue is how all of a sudden Christians are up in arms about, how could this happen? This is terrible. We need to be against this. That's evil. Well, consider this thought. God shows up to Mary, who, based on all the commentaries and scholarship we know, was between the age of 12 and 16, and tells her through the angel, the Holy Spirit is going to impregnate her. Now, you think about it. In our culture, being 18 and having a one-night stand is legal. For someone to come to a young girl between 12 and 16 years old and impregnate her, that's not legal. But this is where moralism becomes relative, and all of a sudden, with good and evil, right and wrong, serpentine slithering starts going on. Consider this on top of it. Not only does God show up to a 12 to 16-year-old young girl and impregnate her, on top of it, she's already betrothed to a man twice her age, Joseph, which means she's technically legally bound through a betrothal to get married to this man. So God not only impregnates a minor, but on top of it, he does it in an adulterous fashion because she's promised to somebody else. Now, that may sound totally crazy, but when you say it in a moralistic, religious sense, using some critical thinking, all of a sudden you realize, gee, at least the devil in that show waited till she was of age. But in that culture back in that day, of course, that was also of age. But there is the complication of the betrothal. Even if we're going to say, well, she was of age in that culture, the complication of betrothal is still incorrect. Shouldn't have happened. My point is, it's amazing how us Christians, when we're wrapped up in the tree of knowledge of good and evil, slithering with the serpent, that all of a sudden we pick that to be evil and what we believe to be good. And in certain situations, it actually could seem like the reverse. So let me give you a seed for today. Stay away from that stuff. And let's get back to the business of God's kingdom, sharing the love and transformational life of Jesus Christ. Thanks. Have a great week.